Hi, I'm Amy Barnhart, and this is Dr. Dana Fillmore, clinical psychologist and marriage and family expert, and author of Happily Ever After, How to Be Happily Married to the One You Already Married. Welcome back to our regular series where we'll be answering your questions. So let's get right to it. Now we've got a question from Regina. She asks about if people can change when they start a new relationship. She says, isn't it true that if you don't give yourself enough time to heal and learn from your mistakes, you'll fall into the old pattern again in the new relationship? What advice do you have for Regina?
Part of that's true, but it's not time that you need, it's skills that you need. So just giving yes, you do absolutely need to learn why you acted that way in the past relationship, what about you makes you pick a person like that, what part of, since you're bringing 50% of the old relationship with you because you're bringing yourself, you need to figure out what part of you helped make that fall apart and why that didn't work. Absolutely. But it isn't time. That will not just come to you with an epiphany someday. You actually have to learn those skills. In fact, we often talk about using the system with just one person, even if you're not in a relationship, because so much of what we talk about you're going to need for the next relationship, right, and all those other things. And however people want to do that, they need to take a look at those things, and whether that's through journaling or using our system or talking to somebody if they need to, but they do need to take a look at that stuff. It's not just going to come to them with time. But her point is well taken in that many people just keep committing the same mistakes in relationship after relationship after relationship.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
They think if they, yeah, exactly.
I saw that with my family.
Right. They think that if they pick a new person, then those same mistakes aren't going to happen. But in fact, we pull, interestingly enough, even if it's the other person making the mistake, we either choose people who are gonna treat us like that, or there's something that we're doing that pulls for that person to treat us like that. However we do it, we end up kind of making the same mistakes until we do exactly what she's talking about, which is take a good hard look at ourselves, figure it out with help usually. I mean, maybe some people have the skills and the self-insight to be able to do that, but sometimes it takes some education. And figure out, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep picking this person? Why do I keep making these mistakes? What's going on with me?
Right.
So she's absolutely right, but just time in between isn't going to accomplish that.
Right. One thing that I've read in certain places is that it's really almost about what you believe a relationship should be. That if you're believing something like, well, this is how I should be treated, maybe because you saw that's how your parents were treated or whatever, if you think that's what you're worth, or if you think that's how it should work. So how do you recommend for someone to kind of change their identity or change what they do believe they're worth?
Well, that takes a little bit more than just a few study sessions in between. That possibly could take, again, some individual therapy, or again just using some self-help materials, doing some online courses, taking a look at their childhood, how that affected them, their parents' relationship, what they brought from their childhood and their parents' relationship into their own marriage or relationship. And absolutely, it does have to do with self-fulfilling prophecy, as it were. If you really believe that you're supposed to be treated on a scale of 1 to 10 like a 5, you will continue to find people over and over who will treat you that way. So you're right. It does take some sort of work on yourself and some insight and some honesty about who you are and where you come from. But the good news is people change all the time. I'm in the business of helping people change, right? That's what people do, and that's great news. We change, we grow, we shift. Sometimes we change for the worse, sometimes we change for the better, but we're going to change. So you might as well change for the better. You might as well do the work and grow and feel good about yourself and get in touch with all of those positive feelings, and then that's who you're going to attract.
Can you speak to, I know sometimes people resist change so much, it's the kind of like dragging with the heels, kicking and screaming. So can you help people maybe give some insight onto how to embrace that and sort of enjoy the ride of that change journey?
Change is scary, right? Because we prefer the cave we know than the light that we don't know. Human nature is basically like, I know I'm in pain, but I know this. I'm comfortable here. I understand it. I feel in control of it. So change is new. Change is something I don't know what that's going to be like. I don't know what it's going to be like out there and how I'm going to act and how I'm going to be treated. And so it's a scary thing for people. Actually, interestingly enough, after people sort of get used to it, it becomes easier because they realize, okay, I know this is going to be, I don't know what's over the next hill, but I've gone over a hill before and it's been okay. So it's kind of just taking that first leap, kind of recognizing that that change is going to come anyway, Like they're going over the hill one way or the other, so they might as well have some control over which direction they're going to go and what they want to do.
Gotcha.
And they don't necessarily have to lose the fear of change. So let me tweak your question a little bit. Fear, by definition, does not mean you're not supposed to do something.
Right.
So they can be scared. I tell my kids all the time, the definition of bravery is being scared and doing it anyway.
Nice.
So, and then they throw that back at me, by the way, which is, but that's a good thing.
That's always the tough part, yeah.
Which I love. But, so be brave, I guess is what I'm saying. Being scared is fine, but be brave and go through the fear and still work on the change and still work on becoming and the person and the woman that you want to be in this case. Mm-hmm. And she'll be happier on the other end.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's a brilliant answer. Thank you. If you'd like your question answered, please ask it in the comment box below, because this is a regular series and we want to help as many people as we can. And if you'd like even more powerful free relationship advice from Dr. Dana, click on the link below the video. Thanks so much for watching.
Talk to you soon.